up, guys, and happy Leap Day! You won't be seeing this day for another 4 years, so to celebrate, let's introduce a new segment to the channel, which I call Theory Time. In this segment, it's all about talking about theories about a popular TV show or video game, and I was thinking of starting with a very whacked out show, which is known as Superjail. And that show has a lot of insanity in it, and oddly enough, no actual solid theory. Instead, I went to TV Tropes, and there are a bunch of people who have written down ideas or background stories about certain episodes, and I'm here today to talk about them. This is my first episode of Theory Time, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Aside from constantly being killed and turning up alive and well in the next episode they are in, it should also be noted that Jared used to be a Superjail inmate before the Warden employed him, and that some episodes like Combaticus and Mayhem Donor had Jared killed as a dark joke in spite of being one of the major characters. The Lunch Ladies seem to be the only ones other than Jared and the Superjail inmates known to have died and come back to life. But these resurrections are hard to explain because they are female, and Superjail appears to only incarcerate male criminals. There is no definite explanation for why Superjail convicts would keep on dying and coming back to life. But supposedly, either the Warden made them immoral so that he could have fun killing them and not get bored when all of his inmates were dead, or the twins made it possible as one of the sadistic games. Going with the aforementioned discussion of Jared's steps, it is likely that he will not be killed at the end of Burn Stooley Burn, and that he may return in the upcoming 4th season. This theory could also explain why the serial killer inmate had a cameo in Superjail Grand Prix when he died at the end of his debut episode, Cold Blood. Somehow his brain got slightly damaged when frozen. In the time he thawed, he became more of a jerk-ass because that was his attitude towards Jared in that episode and remained consistent. It would explain why the Warden took a level of jerk-ass in Terror Dome, when in comparison to Combaticus, they worked somewhat happy together. Think about it. The Warden is a classic mad scientist sociopath type, who we have already seen has an eye for world domination. What if TPTB finally decided that the only way to hold him would be to kill 2 birds with 1 stone? Keeping him busy by giving him a little piece of his own to wreak havoc, and letting him use the worst of the worst hardened criminal scum as his own test subjects. This also explains the twins. They are the true jailers, and interfere with the Warden's plans to keep him in line or for their own amusement. Also, this might explain why the prison is in 2 volcanoes. One for Superjail, and one for the area containing the Superjail. When they realized that they wouldn't be able to control him, they threw him in time jail. When the timeline was reset, or a new reality was created from the ashes of the old, the Time Police or some other force gave the Warden a psychic lobotomy in order to decrease his potential of being homicidal in the future. This led to him being more of a man-child than before, and as his time spent in his jail increases, his short-term memory, dependency on jailbot, and childishness increase as he's content with being in his own loop. The Warden growing up more would mean potential disaster from the power he'd harness, even if he wouldn't try to conquer the world the same way as he did in that one future. Although this plan also had failed in some ways, as the Warden can still be capable of disaster on his own, whether intentional or from his own out-of-control imagination. This would also provide another layer of why it's no good for him to leave Superjail. If he were to actually mature or become more sadistic, and knowing then he was in the pilot, with full knowledge of his capability, it could lead to some sort of takeover. With being content and pleased with just his jail and the status quo, he wants nothing more but the excitement it supplies. And even if he were to try to leave, his incompetence makes for suffering outside of it anyway. He has numerous super weapons built without any explanation to Jared. Jailbot is sent out to search and capture the most depraved and violent criminals to be enclosed within Superjail. He allows said inmates to kill each other with little repercussions, sometimes even promoting it to ensure that only the strongest survive for future super soldiers. Jared, despite being a short and spineless yes-man he may be, has been shown to be a very competent sniper, a pretty good thing to have under your thumb. Don't forget the entire plot for the 2-part Season 1 finale. Given how little attention is paid to the countless deaths in Superjail, it would be a huge narrative inversion to end with the whole of Superjail reminiscing on the death of an inmate. What's more is that it would bookend the series, as the pilot opened with Jacknife's first arrival in Superjail.